Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video, we've got a headset deathmatch. In the yellow and black corner, we have the Corsair HS80 RGB wireless, all very lovely. And in the orange and neon blue 80s chic corner, we've got the newcomers to the gaming scene, JBL with the Quantum 800 wireless, another fine gaming headset. These two retail for near enough the same price. There is a bit of a disparity. The Quantum 800 is usually about $20 more. That'll become apparent as to why as we go through the thing. But they both have the number 8 in their title. And that's enough criteria to justify a comparison. But anyway, let's see which is best. Well, let's get straight in and have test number one, looking at the microphones of each of these. We'll start with the HS80 RGB wireless, and the first test we're going to do with the mic is the sound you get from muting and unmuting. So, as you can see, the red light is on, the boom arm is up, so we are muted. Let's see what it sounds like when we unmute it. Can you hear a click? There you are, all nice and easy. But let's actually test the mic. Now, Corsair do in fact say that this is using the same mic capsule or the same mic hardware as that you'd see on the Virtuoso series, and they do say that is a broadcast quality mic, and honestly I do like the mic on this headset. I'm not using a pop filter so you can get that full pickup of what's actually coming out of my voice, and such is tradition in terms of the mic test. We won't look for anything specific, we're just going to read a random bit of blurb from the back of the box. So it says, hyper-fast slipstream wireless connection, immersive Dolby Atmos, 3-dimensional precision audio, custom-tuned 50mm neodymium audio drivers, broadcast-grade omnidirectional microphone, as we can tell, and high-fidelity 24-bit 96 kHz audio via the USB cable. All very lovely. Now, you let me know in the comments what you think about this, but honestly, I do like this microphone. I like it quite a lot. But for the pops, pop, 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 Simon, Popper, Pepper, shh. There you go. All of the good, whatever they're called, that make the sounds that make all the horribleness. But there we are. The HS80 RGB wireless mic, I do think it's very, very good, very, very full, and picks up all of those solid human tones of my voice. But let's have a look at the Quantum 800 and see if that mic can compare. So again, we'll start the mic test with this, with the mute-unmute feature, just to see if we can pick up any of that noise. So as you can see, the red light is on, the boom arm is up, so we are muted. Here we go. Now, if any of that sound is picked up, you'll hear it on the recording. Now, to be clear, I am just holding these in my arm, so there is a bit more rattle to it, but should be a fair enough test. But anyway, let's see what we think about this microphone. Now, again, I'll just read the blurb from the back of the box and see if it gives us any cool information at all. I think it's the fairest test, but here we go. JBL Quantum Surround Signature plus 50mm high-res certified drivers. And then we've got lots of foreign languages, and then we've got dual wireless, lossless, 2.4 GHz wireless plus Bluetooth. Very, very nice. We also have active noise cancelling designed for total immersion. Cool. Again, like I mentioned, there is a quick little button for it to turn the ANC on. We'll have a talk over that shortly. Then we have voice focus microphone. Now this is the bit that we need. Sorry, it does say voice focus, not vocus. That would be an odd word. With noise suppression and flip up mute. Cool, that's pretty much all they've got to say about the mic, but I do think it sounds pretty good, if I'm being completely honest. Not sure it's quite to the quality of the broadcast grade microphone you get on the HS80s, but it is kind of a nice mic. But overall, for me, in terms of the two, as this is a deathmatch, I would point out that I think that the HS80 takes this. The HS80s have a very warm and rich tone to them, that typical Corsair signature sound of additional bass. Explosions sound absolutely epic through these, but sometimes that bass can be at the expense of clarity for other things, like footsteps. For movies, these are great. They do have the Atmos feature, which is awesome. For music, if you like it on the bassier side, the HS80s may well be the headset for you. All in all, they sound pretty good. The Quantum 800 have a very natural sound
It's very precise, it's very clear. In terms of playing FPS games, directionality of footsteps, things like that come through very, very well. For music, these also sound very good. Even though the audio is very clear, there's still a lot of bass, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't oversaturate the rest of the audio. It just sounds very natural and very nice. And you can use these for quite some time with very little fatigue to the ear. All that clarity, sadly, seems to come at the expense of its overall volume. You can't get these too loud on the PC. But still, the Quantum 800s do take it. To me, they just sound better.
Now, in terms of the design of these two headsets, there are some similarities, but there's also some differences. So we'll start with the Quantum 800. It's based on what looks like a traditional classic kind of headphone designs, but obviously with a mic boom. But we've just got the usual headband with the JBL branding, of course, and beneath that about 1/3 of an inch of padding that's encased in this very premium feeling soft leather, which is all very good. The bottom of there we have these standard usual extension arms to size this right for your head. Now the extension arms themselves are lined and they are numbered, so you can get that size just right to your head. I must point out they feel a bit loose, but to an extent where if you simply, you're at full length all of a sudden. Now the sound that it makes I kind of like, so I'll let it slide. I do kind of like that. It feels very strong to me, or sounds very strong at very least. Now the arms themselves have this exposed wire just around them to connect the actual ear cups themselves. Now the wire feels very robust, it feels very chunky and thick, and I like the orange and black JBL sort of chic that comes with it. All very, very lovely. Now, there is at the bottom of the extension arm this pivot point, this swivel arm just here, which one would probably think is most likely the weakest point of the headset itself, but I've not had any issues with them, and I've only used these for about 40 hours to be perfectly fair, but it doesn't feel like it's going to break, to be perfectly honest. Now the forks themselves, just the standard traditional ear cup forks that connect it to the headband, all very lovely, but the ear cups themselves are not quite a circle. They're a bit of a squashed sort of semicircle, I suppose, with a bit of a flatted bottom, which is good because they are more of the ear shape than just the standard round ear cups. And on the left ear cup themselves is where all of the in-game controls take place. You have your active noise cancelling at the top. It's just an on and off switch. We'll come more onto that when we look at features. Then we have the chat to game mixer, which is just on a sort of volume wheel, but it only has half a revolution to it. So getting that volume just right, or that balance just right, can be quite difficult, but at the same time, just silencing your friends is very, very quick. Just a simple boom and done. Beneath that, we have the master volume wheel. Again, it's only half a revolution, so getting that volume just right can be quite tiresome at times, but once it's there, all very good. And beneath that, we simply have the mute switch. Now, you don't need the mute switch. You can simply raise the mic boom, and that will mute it for you. But if you want to just keep it down, you do have the option of the mute switch itself. Beneath that, we have a couple of connection points. We have the charging point, which is a Type-C cable. You can use these while charging, all very good. And a 3.5mm connector, which again, I very much like. JBL are renowned for making good headphones, so using these with a 3.5mm cable, they do actually sound very, very good. On the other ear cup is where we have a couple of the power controls. We do have the selector for Bluetooth, again, another form of connectivity to these that you can use at the same time as gaming. All very good to be able to use your phone and not have to stop gaming. And the power selector, you simply move the power switch up to turn it on, and the same again to turn it off. Now, in terms of the way that these are put together in the simple rattle test, they do sound very good. When you get a bit more robust, you do obviously get that, but that's the looseness of these arms. But overall, I think the design is very good. Like I said, it's that classic sort of design that's been adorned with JBL's RGB, of course, with the branding lit up for all of the world to see. But it's not a bad implementation of the RGB, to be fair. I just wish you could do more with it, with the software itself, but we'll look at that again later. But there we are, the Quantum 800. It's kind of well put together. I like it. I like the premium feeling leather. That's one thing that really does set this aside, and obviously they sound great, as all JBL products do. But let's take a look at the HS80 RGB wireless. Now, as I mentioned, there are some differences to the design, but of course we have the headband with the branding, usual stuff, and that's where the differences start. Beneath the headband, we don't have the usual traditional padding under here. You have this suspension bit of material, which is good. It stops any point loading across the top of your head and just spreads the weight of the headset all around. It makes it very, very comfortable. To change the size of these, you need to go under the underside, and there is this Velcro. You could probably hear it there, which you just adjust around the strap to get this to the right size. So there's no extension going on here at the bottom of the headband. But that's where we get a bit of a similarity. Again, we have that one pivot point just here at the top, and it's very nicely done with a bit of gold trim just to make it look classy, but still that will be the weak point of the headset. But much like on the Quantum 800, you do have swivel, you do have pivots, so you can get these sized wonderfully to your head. Now, on the ear cups themselves, again, we have about an inch of padding, but this is using a sort of airweave material, which is very nice and dissipates heat, but still very, very comfortable. And again, it's a good job that it is an inch thick because there's no padding over the driver housing. In terms of the shape, these are more of a rhomboid, which is a very nice word to use, which is effectively a bit of an angled oblong. Again, another lovely word, but they are very comfortable. The position of them feels very good on the side of your head. All very, very awesome. In terms of the controls, really not that much going on with this headset. It's all on the left ear cup. At the top, you simply have power on, power off. Lovely jubbly. And then you have the volume wheel, which is on this an infinity wheel. So you can just keep going. It won't keep getting louder and louder, obviously, but it does give you a bit more play in terms of getting the balance of the audio just as you want it. And down at the bottom of the ear cup, we do have the Type-C charging connector. Now, you can use these using the Type-C, so you can charge them whilst using, but you do get higher fidelity audio if using the cable itself. The microphone boom arm, again, just mutes as you lift it up and comes off mute when it's down. You do get a little white light to let you know you're not muted, but you can turn that off, of course, because what would be the point of having it? But there we are. The other thing that's a bit similar to these, but not quite as good for me, is the exposed cable. Just under here, there is a bit of an exposed cable for the ear cups themselves, but it feels very thin, and it's just a rubberized material, and it's pulled quite taut, which says to me that potentially could get snagged. It is, however, sort of in a 2D cage, a two-dimensional cage, where the fork, well, not the fork, where the mount comes down into this triangle shape. You'd have to get underneath or in from the front to actually damage it, so I can't see that being much of an issue, if I'm totally honest. In terms of the RGB implementation, it's very nice, actually. You just get the logo. Nice here. Just a nice little subtle bit of light to let you know that Corsair did in fact make this headset. Now, the design of both, as I said, there are differences. For me personally, I think I prefer the design approach of the Corsair. It looks more modern, it looks chic, it looks new. This just looks like a pair of headphones that have been adapted to be gamery. They've just shoved some lights on and put the boom on. I know there is more to it than that, but that's sort of the bit of the impression that I get. Where of Corsair are trying to move on. The HS80 RGB wireless, in terms of the design, I think looks absolutely remarkable, and the build quality of the two are both on par. There's no real difference. The tolerances are great. We do the rattle test with the Corsair. You can tell that the design tolerances are very tight. There's just nothing. No rattle, no noise, nothing like that. But yeah, for me, the HS80 RGB wireless takes it on design. I think it just looks better, but that's down to personal preference, of course. But let's move on. So what do we get in the box of these two fine headsets? Well, it's all kind of samey, to be honest. We have a USB Type-C charging cable for both, very nice, both braided, lovely stuff. They both have a USB wireless receiver, however one is definitely larger than the other. They both have a waste of trees, which is all very lovely. Everybody likes a dead forest, all very nice, but that's where it ends for the HS80. We also have this, the 3.5mm cable. That's the only additional bit that the Quantum 800 has. Now, although the Quantum 800 has more stuff, I would say that the quality, especially in terms of the wireless receiver, is better on the HS80. But given that this has more stuff, this is better quality, this round's a draw. Compatibility and features. Well, I'll just say from the outset that this is an absolute shoo-in for the Quantum 800. Both of these are compatible with PC, Mac, PS4 and PS5. However, the Quantum 800, because of that 3.5mm cable and its Bluetooth connectivity, also connects to mobile phone. You can connect it to a Switch as well via the Bluetooth. You can also connect this just to a standard analog output as you're gaming. You can have all of the different inputs working at the same time. It also has, in terms of features, Well, we'll start with the HS80. It has Atmos, which is great for movies, not necessarily for games, whereas the Quantum 800 does have a chat-to-game mixer on the ear cup itself. It also has active noise cancelling. If you are in a busy environment, ANC is an absolute must. So in terms of compatibility and features, well, it has to be the Quantum 800. They both also have software, and overall I'd say the software is probably better from Corsair. However, just with those additional features that come on the headset, compatibility and features has to go to the Quantum 800. Comfort. Honestly, I couldn't really pick much apart from these two headsets. The HS80 is definitely lighter, coming in at around 370 grams, whereas the Quantum 800 is 400 plus. Not massively over, but you don't really notice that difference. I think the sheer amount of padding that you've got on the ear cups for the Quantum 800 sort of make up for that. But yeah, in terms of comfort, I had no issues with either over a long gaming session, so for me, this round's a draw. So in conclusion, which of these two very, very good headsets, I should point out, actually win this? Now, in terms of this comparison, in terms of the score, then it goes to the Quantum 800. It's got better features, it sounds better, just things like that. It's more compatible, but it does cost $20 more. That's the decision that you're going to have to weigh up. If you're buying a gaming headset purely just to play games, then just go for this. If you're not planning on listening to music or watching movies, anything like that, just get this. It's $20 cheaper. I think the design looks nicer. It's very, very comfortable on your head. All very good. But if you want that active noise cancelling feature, if you do live somewhere busy and there's lots of people and lots of noise, you've got to go for the Quantum 800 just for the ANC alone. If you're going to be playing this on multiple platforms, again, you'd have to go for the Quantum 800. It's just compatible with a few more things just because of that 3.5mm cable. So overall for me, in terms of this, like I said, the Quantum 800 takes it. However, both of these are very, very good. Both of them. And a lot of it just depends on what your use case for a headset will be. But for me, the Quantum 800 takes it. So thank you very much everyone for watching. If you did like the video, do leave a thumbs up. It helps me immensely with the algorithm. And also subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you're one of those people that's going to nip to my channel and have a quick look, I've been very, very lax over the last 6 months on my channel. It's not deliberate, I've just been incredibly busy, but I'm hoping to be back on it now for the winter. But yeah, there we are. If you like what you see, why not subscribe for more? If you didn't, leave a thumbs down and just don't come back if you don't like it. That's pretty much the way YouTube works. There's a plethora of options for you. But anyway, there we are. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you come back next time. Have a wonderful morning, evening, noon, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye from me.